What's up, guys? It's your girl, Victoria J from 12th Street Talk Back, where transparency is our love language. You guys know that transparency is very important to me because I believe it's the key to bridging the communication gap. Bridging the communication gap in our community amongst our generations has been very near and dear to my heart for a very long time. And I've been working feverishly to spark the heart conversations in our community. As the world changes, people change, life experiences can change us. Sometimes it can be hard to express yourself to the ones that you love. We all suffered something during the pandemic, some more so than others. Life can be like an emotional roller coaster, and that's why I'm grateful to BetterHelp. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this podcast. Guys, did you know with BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists that can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, all you need to do is to answer a few questions about your needs and preferences during therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with a licensed therapist from their network. Then sit back, relax, and you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable via text, phone, video call. You can even schedule live sessions. And if your therapist is not the right fit for you for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional cost. With BetterHelp, you get the same quality and professionalism that you can expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist that is custom picked for you. More scheduling, flexibility, and the best part of all, at a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/12th Street. That's better, HELP.com/12th Street. I've also linked it in the description below. Let's start bridging the communication gap together. Welcome back to 12th Street Talk Back, where transparency is our love language. I am your host, Victoria J. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look at the day that God has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Today we have company, y'all. We have Frandee from Senior Services. And as you guys know, a week or so ago, we talked to Anita Ford from Senior Services, and they have a broad umbrella of things that they do. So, welcome, Miss Frandee. How are you
I'm well,
today?
thank you, Victoria.
Great, 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 great. Guys,
Yeah.
about the pasta program. Grandparents Raising Grandchildren Support Group. This group is for grandparents who are raising grandchildren full time. The group provides a safe and supportive space to discuss the joys and the cares and give resources also to the grandparents. So, Frandee, tell us about this amazing group that you guys have going on there.
Well, senior services realized that there was a huge need for a group like this. There are so many of us kinship caregivers who
Mm-hmm.
are caring for either grandchildren or other minor relatives in their family. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I myself am a kinship caregiver. We adopted my husband's great nephew out of foster care in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Well, almost 10 years ago, he's 15. Well, he will be 15. So we got him when he was 5. And there are all kinds of issues of raising a child that, especially one that comes from like a troubled background. And
Mm-hmm.
most people who are raising some of their kin, the kids don't come from happy places or you wouldn't have them. They would be in their original family and things would be well and everyone would be cared for.
Mm-hmm.
So we realized that there was, and also the whole thing of us being older and raising small children is difficult because you're more tired, you, I'm not technologically advanced like you need to be to keep up with what these kids
Oh
are doing on
yeah.
the computer. Like I laugh about remote learning. That just about did me in. It was beyond my capabilities. So
Mine too. Mine too.
yeah, so it's just things like that, and it's getting together with other people who understand what you're going through,
Hmm.
and being able to say what you need to say and want to say. Like I came in and said, I want to go somewhere where I can say to somebody, I don't want to do this anymore. I
Hmm.
just don't. And them understand that I mean it at that moment, but that I would do it all over again if given the opportunity, if I had to. I mean, it's just recognizing that the feelings that you have, that they're not bad feelings, they're just feelings that need to be understood.
Right, right. So that's the whole gist of the support group is just coming together and being able to have that person to lean on that's in the
Right,
same situation that you're in.
right. And also too, I think that there are grandparents whose children are still in the picture, and having to deal with raising your children's children and them still being a part of their lives, but maybe not in a good way.
Right.
So having to deal with all that, there's so many different issues that come up with this.
Okay. So I got a little bit of information from the health fair about pasta and grandparents raising grandchildren support. And it says here in my little information that it's a support group offered to adults 55 and up. Am I correct?
That's correct.
That's correct. So, and most of the grandparents in this group take care of minors under the age of 18.
Yes, yes,
Right, right,
yes.
right, right. And you guys meet monthly. What kind of things can we expect from the group if I have one of my listeners out there that decides, this could be a tool that I could use?
Well, I think that they'll be welcomed, and I think that they'll feel comfortable. And
Mm-hmm.
the group that we have is like a rather diverse group, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're being able to talk to people, all kinds of people with all
Mm-hmm.
different situations. And so there's somebody in there who understands what you're going through and who wants to be there as a support to you.
So let me ask you this. It says the foster parents of the program. Um, are most of the people in the group, have they adopted the
Some
the
have,
loved ones?
some have, some have not.
Mhm.
There's that whole issue too of coming up with what's legal custody, what's physical custody, what fits you best for your family.
Mhm. So, with that being said, what's some of the things that you guys do in the whole pasta program when you get together? I noticed here you meet once a month.
Well,
Is that correct?
we have two different groups. We have the grandparents raising grandchildren support group,
Okay.
which has been in place since January.
Okay.
Just recently, a couple of weeks ago, we started a workshop for pasta stands for parenting a second time around. So it's a curriculum based out of Cornell University, which
Mhm.
sort of helps you. It's a workshop learning how to be a parent again with the way
Mhm.
things have changed.
Okay, gotcha. That's wonderful. And you're the coordinator for both
Yes,
groups.
yes, I'm the kinship care coordinator.
So you are pretty much hands-on, Miss Frandee,
I
aren't you?
am. I
You are,
am.
you are. So you've got your hands in a little bit of everything. The workshop, what can they expect attending the workshop?
Well, that's a 2 hour, and lunch is provided.
Okay.
The first session that we had was about learning about who you are and why you are the way you are, and understanding where you come from. And then the second week was understanding where your grandchild comes from,
Right.
like where they come from and how to understand that better and how to relate to each other better. I got tickled because the last two sessions are on teenagers. And
Mhm.
I had somebody say, could we just not start with that? Because they have.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Oh,
So, and then this coming week on Thursday, we're having a family child therapist come and speak to the group.
oh wow.
So we'll talk about that.
So what are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about the behavior or what to expect with
The
the teenage
behaviors,
groups.
yeah, the behaviors, what to expect, helping you with, again, traveling that road with your child who is the parent of this grandchild, and how to maneuver that, because sometimes that's really difficult, because
Mhm.
the child might think, well, you're taking over my kid, and why are you doing this? But at the same time, they're not able to care for the child, or you wouldn't be
Right.
caring for your grandchild. So,
Right.
and how to explain that to the grandchild about why am I not living with my mom or my dad or both.
Right. So we have um the monthly, the grandparents taking care of grandparents, which that meets monthly. Am I correct?
Yes,
Here in the
every third
triad.
Wednesday. Yes, every third
Every third
Wednesday.
Wednesday, guys. Every third Wednesday. So if you know someone that's 55 or over that are taking care of their loved ones, their grandkids, they meet every once a month, every third Wednesday, as well as the pasta program. Now, you said this workshop includes rebuilding a family
Mm-hmm,
and grandparents and teens living together. That's
mm-hmm.
what it's basically about. You had one that came up, or is it still in place? August 3rd, I believe.
That was the pasta group when it started. That was the first meeting that we had.
Okay. So from there going forth, it'll be meeting the
Every
same way.
Thursday. Every Thursday. We have a new group that's going to start on October the 5th. That will be our
Okay.
second session. So
Okay.
if you have missed or can't do this first group, you're certainly welcome to come October the 5th on that Thursday. And you're certainly
Okay.
welcome to come every third Wednesday.
So every third Wednesday, we're just fellowshipping. We're
Yeah,
talking
right.
amongst one another. Can we expect at any of these meetings, say for instance, like you said, you were going to have a therapist come in at the next meeting. Can we
Mhm.
expect those type of individuals coming in to pop in into some of these support meetings? I'm just trying
Yeah,
to get a little bit more information of what the people can expect if they
yeah,
do decide
yeah.
to
The
participate.
our fifth week, which is 2 weeks from today, we will, or tomorrow, well, I mean Thursday, we'll have an attorney come who specializes in child custody.
Okay. So you guys kind of bridge the gap, as I would say here.
Yeah.
My slogan for 12th Street Talk Back is bridging the gap in our community. So you
Mm-hmm.
guys kind of bridge the gap with the grandparents.
Yes.
Can you think of any specific situations where everything just came out the way God intended it to? I mean, the grandchildren were happy, the grandparents were happy, and possibly, the absentee parent showed back up and for whatever reason got their situation together that you could share with us something positive or
Yeah, I think that um, there is a lot of growth in the meetings, and there's a lot of wisdom that people can soak up, so to speak.
mm-hmm,
So that it makes their situation easier for them and for the grandchild.
mm-hmm,
There's a lady in our group who said at one meeting that she said, I get more out of this than just the grandparenting part. She said, I have
mm,
a brother who is incarcerated, and I just have never been able to communicate with him or forgive him or be a part of his life. And she said, and since I've been here, I've realized I need to do that. I need to reach out to him. And she
mm.
has. So that's just sort of like an aside of like you say, God working in there.
Yes,
Um,
working in there.
and then I think we're talking to there's a couple whose son they're raising his son, their grandson. And she said, hopefully next month, I have better news. I have things that are improving. So
Oh, well, great. That's great. So we're pushing towards the agenda. So with that being said, where do you guys see these two particular magnificent uh projects going? What in what way would you want to see them be in the next 5 years, let's say?
I would hope that the reason we have the group now is because of funding through ARPA, which is the Americans Action, whatever it was, through COVID. I can't remember them, but
Okay.
there was a grant through that. So it lasts until next September, the end of next
Mhm.
September. So we have another year that we know that we're going to be supported and funded. And I'm sure that they'll look for other funding for that
Mhm.
because it is so important, and they have seen it grow, the
Yes.
group grow, and the interest.
Well, speaking of funding, do you guys accept any outside donations and volunteering?
Yes, yes, we do.
You do. So it could be monetary. And do you have a volunteering program put in place? Is there some information? Is there someone we need to contact yourself, possibly, if somebody wanted to volunteer or perhaps donate to the program?
I I don't think we have a need for a volunteer right now. I don't
Hmm.
know what they would do. The donations, any kind of donations that you would give to senior services would certainly, hopefully, trickle down to us.
Yes, 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 yes. And that's what we want. We want all that stuff to trickle down to your program, get it out there in the community. I think you guys are doing wonderful things over there at Senior Services. I was so blessed to be able to get some information at the health fair that I went to.
Hmm.
Um, and just talk to you guys about what your plans are and what you're putting in place and how it works well in the community. So you're seeing some growth and a lot of people really needing this, especially the grandparents needing this group here.
Yes, I had a lady that called yesterday. I got tickled because I answered the phone and she said, "Oh, thank God, I never thought I'd find you." She said, "I'm so overwhelmed. When's the next meeting? Can I come?"
So what are
So
some of the things that we would and I'm a mother, I'm a young mother, but all my kids are older. But I did have some difficult times with the teenagers. We're talking more so on the side of they just come from troubled homes, or possibly the parent passed away at some point, and the
mhm.
grandparents are kind of give us a little bit of what we deal with on a daily basis and in that manner.
I'm not sure I understand your question, Victoria.
If you know the types of teenagers that or
Oh,
teenagers or
teenager. Oh,
children
oh,
that um the grandparents that when they come into the situation, is it something that just kind of falls in their lap and that's why we decided to do this group, or or life just happened and they just happen to end up with their grandparents? I guess that's what I'm
I
saying.
think there's different reasons for why. We have one person in our pasta group where her daughter died, and
Oh,
she
wow.
has her children. We had, the opioid epidemic is just done horrible things for family structures.
Yes.
Um, so we have that. We have people who are just too immature to raise children and
Mhm.
thought they could, and then they can't, and can't
Mhm.
keep the kids safe or give them what they need. So there's all kinds of different reasons of why you have
Mhm.
these children.
Mhm.
So hopefully there's someone in the group or that understands whatever it is you're going through at that moment, that can kind
Mhm.
of help guide you through that.
Mhm.
Teenagers are tough no matter what.
Mhm.
Um, so if they're, sometimes behavior wise, they act out because they're angry, because their mother doesn't come like she says she's going to come.
Right.
or the dad doesn't show up like he said he was going to. They miss their birthdays, they miss Christmas. All that causes anger and frustration in children. So that's
Mm-hmm.
just, and it's left to the grandparents to have to kind of deal with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they need an outlet too.
Yes.
They need somewhere where they can go and get that support
Right.
that they need,
Right.
and especially with being up in age, I don't think there's a grandparent out there that wants to have to parent a second time
Right.
around.
Right.
So we
Right.
thank God for you, though. We thank God for the grandparents raising grandparents support group. We thank God for pasta. Is there anything that you want to tell my listening audience that we don't know about either one of these wonderful programs that you have in place right now?
I don't think so. I just want them, if they feel a need or even they're curious, please come. You don't have to come back again if you don't like what you see or hear,
Hmm.
but certainly you're welcome to come and see if we can help and if we can be there for you.
Well, you guys, you heard it here. We have Brandy here with amazing senior services, and she's a part of, she is the coordinator. Let me get it right. Kinship
Care coordinator.
coordinator,
Yes.
care coordinator for the Grandparents Raising Grandparents program, as well as PASTA, which is fairly new. I'll have all her contact information in the description below. Frandee, thank you for stopping on by. If you guys have any other thing, I'm going to tell you, like I told Miss Anita Ford, you're a part of the family now. And if you have any information that you want to filter out there to our listeners, please don't hesitate to drop me an email or a phone call, and we'll get it out there for you into the community.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Guys, you heard it here. If it be in God's will, we will see you guys the next time around. If you can't do anything for anybody, a kind word goes a long way, but a hot meal goes even further. Peace and blessings. Until next time.